in a day. All right, there are certain amount that you are not allowed to withdraw from an ATM. Very good evening to you from Doha, and wherever you're watching me from, good day, good morning, good afternoon. Yes, like I was saying, we don't live in a vocal world, all right? We have a lot of uncertainty, complexity, you wouldn't, the things that, you would not expect to actually, be happening are actually happening already, all right? So, there are a lot of things that are happening in our world today that if we are not careful and if we don't understand how to avoid, some of these money mistakes, people could become victim of circumstances. You will agree with me that a lot is happening in our world right now. I don't want to go into the global stuff or what's happening in our world. Now, coming back to the topic on how the money mistakes that you should avoid in 2025 so that you don't become victim of circumstances. One of the money mistakes you must avoid in 2025 is that you must learn how to live within your means and set limits. Now, these are supposed to be 2 points, but I decided to put it as one because I understand that, a lot have been said about living within your means, but not much emphasis has been said on setting limits or setting boundaries. Now, you will agree with me that, in every financial sector around the world, all right, I don't care to know where you live in the world, there is a limit at which you can withdraw from the bank. All right. So now, if the financial sector that a bank, all right, they're supposed to be saving money, keeping money, understand how to set limits, understand how to tell you that even if you are the owner of this money, but you cannot take more than this amount in a day. What does that say to you? That suggests to me that if you that owns the money does not understand how to set a limit, you are already making a financial mistake. All right, because the bank where you kept your money or where you are banking with is already saying that, listen, Mr. Man, you cannot withdraw more than this amount in a day. But what is happening to you as an individual when you take your salary? What is the limit you have set to spend? Some of us live so much above our limit to the point that we even go into debt before the next salary will come. And I will tell you the truth. And it comes to a point that people even start borrowing money to pay the existing debt that they have before. When you get to that point in your life, it is actually a very critical point, and you need attention, you need counseling, you need prayer, you need everything that is required to bring you back again. You must understand that spending more than you earn can actually lead to debt and is a big financial stress and financial mistake that anyone who actually wants to make progress in 2025 must avoid. All right. Now, let's look at it again. We'll talk about setting limits. I want to be as practical as possible with this, with this broadcast today. There was a story about, not actually a story, something happened, way back then in school. A friend, actually borrowed his school fees to another friend who was having a landlord issue. Now, you will understand that this is just somebody trying to help, all right? But after borrowing that money to the guy that had a landlord issue eventually paid the landlord and everything was fine. He was not very close to the exam. As a matter of fact, on the exam day, it was a narrow escape for the guy who would have missed his paper because they were going to drive out every person who had not, paid their school fee that day. But luckily, the dean stepped in and, he was able to write his exam. But the guy he borrowed the money to was sitting in the hall comfortably because he had paid his school fees earlier. Now, what was the financial mistake there? He didn't understand how to set a limit. There is no issue with helping people. But if you don't set a limit at which you can help, you can actually become victim needing help later. Someone once said that helping poor people can make you poor if you don't understand how to set limits. So one of the major financial mistakes some of us make is that we get blackmailed. All right, people comes in with emotional blackmail. They come with a lot of things, and you find out that the money you are supposed to have used for your own children's school fees, you start using it to settle other people's issue, and your children eventually, because all you have is your salary. Now the salary is not going to come until at the end of another month. You must understand how to set limits and live within your means. In 2025, listen, one language I have learned and it's so easy for me to use it. It's part of my vocabulary right now. People come on my DM, and ask for, helps and all of that. As much as I can do, I do. But when it gets to a point, what I say is, I have exceeded my limits. That's it. I have exceeded my budget. And once you get to that point, just like I told you, if you go to an ATM, ATM that is your own money, right? You bank with that bank. You are not going to the bank to withdraw the money because you have a right, you have the PIN, everything is right with the ATM. But yet, they will tell you have exceeded your limits. As a human, if you want to exceed in 2025, one of the money mistakes you must have, you must set limits for what you use to help people. You must set limit for what you use, even for your personal, upkeep. You must set limit for what you use for family and friends. If you don't set limit, people will help you, they will cross the boundaries, and before you know it, you start complaining and saying, I didn't know what I'm doing, I spent all my money, and you come to the point that the people you have helped, you become like them. All right. So the only way to avoid becoming like people you have helped is to understand how to set limits. Don't be like that, that fellow. It wasn't actually my friend, but we got to know because we're all in the same, department at that time. Because he used his own school fees to pay somebody's house rent. And the person he has paid an house rent for is sitting in the hall to write an exam. And he was almost being driven, if not for the dean at that time. All right. So you must understand how to set limits. It is not a wrong thing when you say this thing is beyond my budget, it's above my budget. I didn't budget for this. As much as we are Christians, we don't confess negative. Personally, I don't like saying I don't have. And you will never make me say I don't have. But I can tell you I have exceeded my limits. If a bank has a limit that is holding my money, but it has a limit to what I can withdraw from my own account, why shouldn't I have a limit to my life? It's a financial mistake that you must keep up to and tell yourself, 2025 is a limit to which I can give. Have a limit, especially those of you abroad. Have a limit you set for welfare. You must have it, all right, because you must definitely have to give hands. You must definitely have to help people, but have a limit for it. Don't allow people emergency becomes a problem while your own project is not progressing. Why you cannot make progress in your life because of somebody else's emergency. If you are getting value from this video, I want you to like this video and share it, all right? Make a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, all right? Oh, thank you so much, Emperor. I thank you. Great. I love that also. All right, just make a comment. Let's know where you're watching from, all right? Thank you. All right, we're going to go to the other, money mistake that you must avoid in 2025. Ignoring savings and investment is a big money mistake that you want to avoid. It is not enough now to keep your money in the bank, all right? For those of you who even keep their money in the bank, and for some also keep their money, in a safe or whatever you keep the money, it's not enough to keep it. Globally right now, the inflation rate is about 8%, at 7.8% or so, or approximately 8%. What that means is that for every 1,000 that you are keeping right now, after 1 month, over 8% of that money has lost its buying power, its purchasing power. So when you stock money in the bank, you are actually not helping yourself and you are not helping your future. It's a financial mistake. And I will tell you the truth. The bank that you are banking with is actually not keeping their money in the bank. I wish somebody would put that in the comment section. The bank that you are banking with, all right, they are not keeping their own money in the bank. Oh, thank you. You're watching from Kenya. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So let me know where you're watching from, your name and where you're watching from. All right. Abdul, thank you so much. You're watching from Kenya. I hope you are getting value from this. All right. So for those of you who think that, oh, I don't want to make a money mistake, I want to keep my money in the bank. Listen, when you keep your money in the bank that you are keeping your money in are not keeping their money in the bank. Look at that. What does that suggest to you? If you want to know, let everyone, all right, in your local city, I don't know, in my country, a lot of banks, I don't want to mention any bank right now, but there was a failed bank which was there, Allstate Trust Bank. I was actually banking in that bank that time. For those of you that know, I even had a stock in that bank. Now, Allstate Trust Bank had an issue at a point, and almost all the customers went to the bank to collect their money. Guess what? The bank was not having it. All right, that's exactly anywhere in the world. I don't care where you live in the world, in the UK, in America, everywhere you live in the world. The bank is not keeping your money in the bank. Haven't you wondered that all you get from the bank is a text message? All right, is a text message to show that yes, this money this is the amount it is. This is what is your balance. Even when your salary comes, it comes as a text message. When everybody goes to the bank and wants to collect their money, the money is not in the bank. What does that suggest to you? The bank is investing the money. So how come when you earn your salary, you earn your money, and all you do is to just keep the money in the bank? You don't understand how to make that money work for you. Listen, when you are doing that, you are making a financial mistake. That is why you will see people who have worked for 35 years and, you look at their life and you're like, oh, this man had worked in certain industry or certain places for 35 years. Look at how their life is looking. They look beggary and some of them are waiting for their pension to survive. Why is this so? They don't understand how to make their money work for them. When you earn money, the aim of the money you have earned is not to keep it in the bank. You must understand that the bank you are banking with is not keeping their own money in the bank. And I don't care to know where you live on earth. As long as you don't understand how to invest that money, you are actually making a financial mistake. All right. I'm going to be coming on that episode to talk on how you can avoid, just keeping your money in the bank and what you could do with the money that you are keeping in the bank. All right. But like I said, we're just looking at the list of financial mistakes to avoid. The first one we talked about, you can go back and, watch this video for those who are just joining us right now. And if you are getting value, let me know where you are watching from and your name, where you are watching from, and if you are getting value already from this. All right. Now, the other money mistake that you want to avoid is, as a worker or, whatever you are doing, do not rely on one source of income. Do not rely. Can I have somebody type that in the comment section? You can like this video and share it. Do not rely on one source of income. The question will be, what are you saying? I'm working, all right? I'm doing 8 to 5. I have my time locked out. Listen, as you earn your money, you're supposed to make that money work for you. All right. So what you're supposed to do right now is to take that money and send it on an errand. Invest in income generating businesses. Work into partnership with people who actually are doing the businesses themselves. Make an investment. Do something with the money you are earning that it will be able to bring forth children and grandchildren from that one salary. All right, it's not just enough for you to take the money and all you do with the money is just spend it. No, don't rely on that source of income. Because why? One source of income, once that source is cut short, what happened to you? What happened to your life? So you must learn to diversify. All right. In other places, you kind of call it side hustle. You must learn to put something around you that you begin to find out that you have multiple streams of income. By the way, that's a book I would recommend for anyone who is actually looking at avoiding money mistakes this year 2025. Go and read The Multiple Stream of Income. All right, it's a book that will really teach you how to avoid just relying on one source of income. There's a lot you can do with your time. There's a lot you can do with your money. There's a lot you can do with people around you. All right, I'm going to come here and do another episode on where you can find money. People are actually money. All right, so when you earn your salary, when you earn your income, find a way to make that particular money bring forth another child. From that child, another child. So before you know it, one source of income can begin to generate 3-4 generations of income for you, just by knowing what to do with your money. So, like I said, relying on one source of income is a financial mistake that you must avoid this year, 2025. You must look for side hustle, look for side investment, look for something to put your money into that will start working for you. All right. Okay. Having said that, I want to run quickly with them. In the other episode, I'll try to explain some of these points. I want to look for other points also. The other point, which point number 4 of the money mistakes that you must avoid this year 2025, is that you must learn to have an emergency funds. Yes, you must learn to have an emergency fund. Some of us are victim of this, all right? See, when you have an amount that you set out, all right, as an emergency fund, it doesn't mean that it's going to be, an amount that, oh, anybody have an emergency, you're going to be using it to solve their own problem. No, this is your own emergency funds. Okay, it is for you to set. And then you must now begin to discipline yourself. That was the first thing we said. And learn to set limits. Because when you eventually spend your emergency fund on other people's emergency, when your own emergency spring forth before your next salary will come, it may become a disaster. Yeah, thank you so much, Abdul. All right, he said, advice, have another salary comes. Thank you for putting that in the comment section. All right, thank you, Spotless team. You're doing a great job. All right, so you must begin to understand that having an emergency fund is not an option. Oh, thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you. Wow, that's one of us, as Spotless team, also a great mind. God bless you. All right, you must understand having an emergency fund is not an option. Because as you earn salary, all right, what you must understand with salary is that it's repeatedly coming. And you may just get so complacent and believe that it's going to come again next month. Yeah, it's going to come again, but it may not be there forever. All right. So what happens if it doesn't come on time? What happens if it doesn't come as at when due? You must have an emergency fund. Something that can be able to take care of any emergency that comes up, so that sometimes some emergency can be between life and death. All right. And you are not to touch your own emergency fund except if someone else's emergency is actually between life and death. And you actually want to help, because you wouldn't want that person to lose their life when you have an amount to help with. All right. But if it's not between life and death, you must understand that, helping others shouldn't put you at a position of needing help later. You must be able to help others to the point where you will be able to save yourself. It's like everybody are in the sea and the boat capsize. You must get to the shore first and then call for help for other people to be rescued. Not while you are draining and you are trying to help others. Everybody can actually go down. At the end of the day, you start asking yourself, especially for those of you who think that you are El Shaddai. A man of God have once said that you find out that you are the one that shall actually die. There are people, recently, I mean, this is not something to make mockery of, but, the owner of Access Bank, Albert, who died, last year, people have started dragging his property. You can see how this life is. That's just the world we are living. We're living in a vocal world, all right? And people don't care. People are already fighting dirty for what he owns, all right? Painful exits, painful exits. A great mind, a great man with so much contribution to the kingdom and to society and all of that. But people already started fighting for his property. That is the world we are living in. All right. So you must have an emergency fund. You must have something that, in case it happens that everybody deserts you, you will be able to handle whatever comes. Not maybe for a longer time or before the help will come. All right. So don't spending all your salary on, some of you will say, what I am taking home is not enough to take me home. Have you wondered that if you don't earn that same salary for 6 months, you will not die? Yes. Before you got that job, what happened? Have you not been surviving? If you don't earn that money for another 1 year, you will still be alive. You will be with us in this life. You will not go anywhere. So what does that suggest? So no amount actually is too small to take you home. It is your mindset that has made it so small. So you must have an emergency fund. You must keep something aside for yourself. So when anything happens, a lot is happening in the world right now. We can attest to globally what's going on. You must have something saved up somewhere in case something happens. You'll be able to get up with it. All right. I don't like using the word fallback. All right. Now another thing is another financial mistake that you must avoid in this year 2025. Avoid Ponzi schemes. Avoid Ponzi scheme as much as possible. Avoid it. It's gambling. It doesn't work. All right. It's not something that you want to put your life into. There are people who get addicted to gambling and Ponzi scheme, believing that it's going to get better. Some days. All right. I don't want to make reference. I have somebody within a family. And one time I was trying to tell him, get something to do with your life. And he told me, no, this thing is going to work someday. I don't mention the name of the organization, very big organization, but it's just sucking him out. It's a Ponzi scheme as far as I'm concerned. All right. Some of us have made these money mistakes before. And I'm telling you, avoid it. All right. I have invested in it, I have wasted money, I have lost money in some of these things. That was because I didn't know. Now that I know, because when you know better, you should do better. Avoid Ponzi scheme. Avoid anything that appears to look like games and luck. Personally, I don't believe in winning anything. Like sometimes we'll go to the mall here, they give you coupons to fill so that you can win. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in these raffle draws. These are my personal belief. I'm not saying it's not working. I'm not doing this to discredit those who are doing it. But I'm telling you, avoid Ponzi schemes. If you want to make headway in 2025, it's a money mistake to avoid. Go and ask yourself, for every Ponzi scheme that, whatever you want to call it, this luck, try your luck, gamblings and all of that, what happened is that for every 100 persons, one person will win. All right? And what does that mean? What happened to the destiny of the other 99%? So, and you could be victim of that. What's the possibility of you being one among 100? That's what we are saying. Avoid anything that looks gambling, that looks like, bring one and get two, or do this. No, it's actually Ponzi scheme. Avoid it like a plague in 2025 if you want to make headway and you want to make success in your life in 2025. If you have watched this video up to this point, I want you to like it and share it. Make a comment, leave a comment there on the comment section. And the topic again is money mistake to avoid in 2020. This is episode 1. All right, we're going to be covering episode 2 and 3 as the Lord help us. One of the places I draw inspiration from on this is the 50 money mistakes to avoid by Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. And as I read that book, it begin to resonate with me, and a lot of things personally, of course, some of the things I'm sharing are personal life mistakes that I have also made as money mistakes, and I'm telling you, you will avoid them if you actually want to make headway in 2025. Just to recap them again, avoid living above your means. Set limits. When people call you for money that you don't have, let them know you have exhausted your limit. Even an ATM has a limit. Type in the comment section if you heard that. ATM, that your bank that is holding your money, it has a limit to what you can withdraw. If the ATM of a bank has a limit, why are you not having a limit to what you can give? Set a limit. All right. Understand that when you give everything you have, you can become the needy looking for who to give you. May that not be your portion, but you must be wise like the serpent, as we've been advised by the scripture. The other one is, ignoring investment. And we talked about that. Saving money in the bank. The bank where you are keeping your money is not keeping their money in the bank. What an irony. Go to the bank. Let every one of us go to our banks right now and say we want our money. The money is not there. The money is somewhere. Some in real estate, some in farm, some in industries. The money is out of the bank. The moment you bring the money in, it goes out from the back door. And I know what I'm telling you about. So don't be a victim of that. It's a money mistake to make. Thinking that you are just looking at the figures that they give you in a bank statement. I have money. This is not money. It's just a digital hope that they are giving you. Put that money to work. Get it into something that you know that, yes, I have something. I have an investment that is going to yield forth. All right. Till I come your way again, I remain your friend, Dr. Emmanuel Owodige, saying, avoid these money mistakes in 2025 and your life will be so glorious. Thank you so much. This is a journey we are all together, and I am expecting you at the end of the other side. By the end of 2025, we shall all rejoice together.